Hey everybody, this is Mojo from ThreeChordGuitar.com. The song made probably most famous by Eric Clapton on his Unplugged CD, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. And fair amount of chords in this one, but I figured it would be worth looking at anyway. So it's not really a three-chord guitar song. You'll need a C, E7, an A, A7, a D minor, and a D7, and a G7. And I believe that's all you need, he says, thinking he's funny. Anyway, so it starts in C. Now what you may have noticed in a lot of songs that I play, because I try and keep them very simple, that's the purpose of the whole site, is to say you got 10 minutes, I'll teach you how to play a song, and you can then take your guitar and go to the local bonfire and have some fun. That's the whole point. I'm not pretending to be Joe Satriani or to be able to make you into Joe Satriani. It's just the whole idea is just get a guitar, go play out there and have fun as fast as possible. So a lot of the songs that I choose have quote-unquote slow chord changes where you'll have several beats on the same chord before you go to the next one. In this particular song, it's pretty much one chord per beat in most of it, so that's going to require, if you're newer to the guitar, for you to sort of take your time to get the transitions down. For example, the first line goes from C to E7 to A7. So until the A7 comes around, it's one chord per beat. So that may be a bit challenging at first, but we both know you can do it. So it starts in C. Once I lived, E7, life, A, of a millionaire, A7. So once I lived the life of a millionaire. Then you go to D minor. Spent all my A7 money, didn't D minor have any care. And then the dreaded F chord. Did I mention the F chord earlier on? Can't recall. Now here's a trick for you. A lot of people don't like bar chords, and specifically F chords. I know I didn't when I started, and I didn't for the first probably 10 years that I played, and found some very inventive ways to work around having to do an F chord. But you know what? Comes a day when you just have to do it. So what I learned as a quick trick is that I have to look for anchor fingers. And by that I mean is fingers that don't change position or fret from one chord to whatever chord is before the F to the F chord. So in this example, that's going to be my Johnny Cash finger, because I go from a D minor to an F. You may notice that this finger has not moved between the D minor to the F. Okay, it's in the same exact fret position. So I'm going to use that finger to anchor my hand on the neck, okay, and go from one to the other. It helps me with the grip. It helps me get there easier and better balance. With more power, which means that my F chord is actually going to sound like an F chord, as opposed to this muffled mess that I usually end up with. So, I don't know if that's helpful to you at all, but it's helped me through the years as I'm working in chord progressions leading into an F chord to try and see if the chord preceding that F chord has a finger, one or more fingers for that matter, but at least one, in a position that will not change, and then use that finger to pivot around, if you will, from one position to the next. So anyway, we're in F. To call my friends out for the mighty good time. So I went from F to C for mighty, and good time is an A7. Then a D7, but bootleg liquor. G7, champion wine. Then you're back to the same chord progression for the second verse. Then I began to fall so low. Lost all my good friends, had nowhere to go. If I get my hands on $1 again, I'll hang on to that old Eagle Grand. And then you get to the chorus. So the chorus is C, E7, A, A7, which is pretty much the same way all the way around. So you're going to have the same chords. Because nobody knows you. D minor, when you're A7, down and out, back to D minor. Pivot to your F, in your pocket, C, not a penny, A7, D7. And as for friends, you you ain't got any with your G7. And that's the song. So as I said, a lot of chords in a short amount of time, one beat per chord. That's the biggest challenge of this song. But once you get into that simple, sort of laid back rhythm. Oh, I cheat, by the way. Let me show you this again. The more fingers you have involved from one grip to the next, from one chord to the next, probably the more difficult it is at first to hang on that transition. So in this case we'll go from a C, 3 fingers, to an E7, 4 fingers, because your pinky has got to be there on the B string at the 3rd fret to get that 7 part, otherwise it's a regular E. Well, here's something I like to do is, in between a beat, you can cut your beat in half. So see how I just went from the C to E, E7, so that I only worry about 3 fingers and then add the 4th one at my leisure. And it's sort of it's smoother, quote unquote, if you have if you find difficult to relocate 4 fingers at a time in that chord progression on a 1 chord per beat. It may help you to just go to a regular E and quickly just strum it a half a beat later into an E7 on your way to an A and back to the A7. So I hope this was helpful to you, some little tricks and a very cool song. Thanks for watching.